As the Facebook Messenger user primarily, I don't feel too threatened by this next story, but apparently John feels otherwise. So let's get today's not so critical update.
Yeah, so basically fairly recently, an internal document showed what data can be obtained from popular messaging apps. Let's break it down, guys.
What data is in there? That's my question.
So
pretend I didn't read this article. Just hypothetically.
So you didn't read the article.
But Peter starts every segment that way. Why is that?
What do you
basically,
mean?
it seems that
teaching exercise. That's all.
It seems that, I don't know if you're familiar with Wicker. Wicker was, I believe it's an exploding messaging service.
Oh.
And they can't, but there's a lot of no message content, but a lot of metadata relevant to it. WhatsApp, it's like message content limited.
Yeah. So this came from a Freedom of Information request to the FBI asking about what information they can get from various messaging services. And in the article, what they show is, of the messaging services, what can you get based on the level of the request being made? So with iMessage, for example, from Apple, they say that some message content is available. With a subpoena, you can get basic subscriber information. With 18 USC something or other, you can get 25 datas of iMessage lookups. With a pen register, you don't get anything. With a search warrant, you can get backups of the targeted devices and the key to decrypt them if they're stored in the cloud. Other services, like Signal, I think John mentioned, you can't get any message content, but you can get the date and time of the registration and the last date of the user's connectivity to the service. And so there's a spectrum of what's available from all these different services.
And let's just touch on Signal here for a second, because they are fighting the good fight when it comes to privacy, strong encryption, truly not logging data. They keep getting, it's really funny. I don't remember her name, the CEO, she sometimes tweets and writes articles and blog posts about how hey, we're still not collecting data. Stop sending us, subpoenas. I don't have anything for you.
Moxie Marlinspike?
What?
I think it's Moxie Marlinspike.
Okay. But I just want to touch on the fact that when we're looking at all of these applications and they're breaking down what they can collect and what they can request, and then it's just it gets to Signal and it's no, not really anything. Because last date of a user's connectivity to the service. So I assume they're either fetching this from the ISP or from something like Celebrate, where they're siphoning up all the data on the phone and looking at, things like when did the user press this icon. And then date and time a user registered. Again, I'm assuming this has to do with what the device has registered, maybe something like when they downloaded the application from the Play Store. And Signal is just completely blocked themselves out from this whole ordeal, which is really cool. Because if you look at Telegram, which for some reason people are yeah, Telegram is better than WhatsApp or whatever. I don't get it either. For confirmed terrorist investigations, Telegram may disclose IP and phone number to relevant authorities. Mm-hmm. So it's not terrorist. It's not terrorist known terrorists, right? It's we suspect they may be possibly, potentially something we're going to label a terrorist. And Telegram's yep, here you go. So to me, that's just that's not good enough. You can't say, because anyone any authority, any government authority can be oh yeah, they're terrorists and they're under investigation.
That's a very cynical view of the world, John.
Well, we've read enough leaks to know how it actually goes. And then of course WhatsApp is just fucking everything. Just
Yep.
just give them all. Give it end-to-end
Yeah,
encrypted,
but-
by the way.
But don't forget, John, WhatsApp is end-to-end encrypted.
Right, of course. Yeah,
So-
they define that,
That's
Isn't there-
fine.
Am I just
And it's
making
from
this
one
up?
end
But
to the
wasn't there a
other.
case where a company actually didn't store this information and got shut down because they had nothing to turn over? I feel like this is something
There
you
was
talked
a
about
company
before, Peter.
called LavaBit, which was doing encrypted encrypted email, and they got served I forget the national security letter, which they were not able to talk about, and the only reason anybody knew anything about it was because of the Canary warrant. And they, I believe, they refused to hand over anything, and they went bust as a result. There's Proton Mail, which was kind of caught out in handing over stuff like this because they claimed that they didn't do logging on their email, and they're supposed to be super secure and whatever. All the hackers have a Proton Mail address, but because of legal requirements from the government, they added logging for this kind of metadata to go on there. Is that either of those what you were thinking of?
It sounded familiar. I feel like I always want to ask, like, if I really wanted to get away with not being tracked, how would I do that? But then I feel like it's a bad idea to talk about that because then we're telling people. I don't know. What do you think about
Signal.
that? Do we have a responsibility to like not tell people how to get around this kind of thing?
Not at all.
Why would we? Because the people,
individual privacy.
Yeah,
It's
the
legal.
people who want to, the drug lords and all that, they know how to do this anyway.
Okay.
This is a solved problem for them.
So what's
It's
the
not
perfect
like you've got
stack?
your kind of.
We'll just jump in with both feet.
Oh, okay.
Actually, throw away your smartphone.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. Don't use cellular data. Like, if you want, you can do what Snowden created a video of, which was, you're ripping out your GPS, you're ripping out your the microphone, only using aux for mic, connecting only through Wi-Fi with an always-on VPN. We're going down the rabbit hole of onion layering, right? And it just never ends because the final step I said, connect always on VPN, like that doesn't stop there. What happens if the VPN turns logging? I had a discussion on a Reddit thread where I don't remember how we got to it, but it was right around the Proton Mail time, Proton Mail announcement, and basically it was like talking about how VPN providers, no logging VPN providers, this and that. And I mentioned that the issue isn't if they're logging, the issue is if they have the means to turn logging on, just like Proton Mail, which most of them for sure do. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well,
So
they all do for diagnostics purposes. There's nothing that has totally ripped it out.
Right. I feel like inherently it'd be very difficult to lock yourself out like that. So it's when I say, always on VPN, that'd probably be, you'd have to spin up your own VPN. And you'd have to use some sketchy hosting providers so you don't provide personal information to your virtual private server.
And then
It always ends up
on.
For any adversary, it ends up being a question of time and resources.
Yes.
If they have more than you and the willingness to expend a bit, then they'll win. That's it. There's no other way. But you could be completely off the grid, and they will come and find you in the woods if they try hard enough.
Yeah. Because we have phones and computers, and they have satellites, right?
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
we don't need to be as paranoid as what I just described. But a journalist in Turkey, they might need to, right? A political opposition leader in Iran.
Hey,
they might fucking need to,
One of the coolest things I heard about was a USB drop, and it was a USB socket that was like cemented into a wall, and you could drop a USB drive in there, and then someone else could pick it up at a random time. It was something like this. That kind of thing is the sort of extremes that people go to. Right. But basically, Signal in the end.
Yeah, for sure.
It's to answer your question.
Signal.
And I have to communicate with other people who are also using Signal.
We're on Signal, correct.
Yeah. Which is a surprising number of people I found out recently. I use Signal for a couple of reasons. It's actually got much better group chat and group video chat than Discord and a couple of other things I tried. It's really easy to like add people and stuff. If you don't care about the quality too much, it's not super great quality. But
so my big question is, if I get added to a group chat about somebody's birthday who I don't care about, for example, is it easy for me to leave that group chat, or am I really locked in?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on your family, and apparently, you're best friends with all your family, right? So, why would you want to leave? If you've all, just a big echo chamber that you can all remind yourself.
Love them. Love it. Love tracking.
We don't agree on everything, but we all agree that Peter's wrong.
Man. Listen, can I tell you another cool thing about Signal, right? So one of the things about these messaging apps that has always kind of creeped me out and totally surprised me about Telegram, because it has this reputation as being private. When you connect... Yeah, when you connect, you broadcast your phone number to everybody else there. So when somebody else gets connect, you get a notification saying, "Hey, John's on Telegram." Yeah. And I always thought to myself, how does it do that but still be private? Doesn't that mean that my number is then being broadcast to literally every other client, and their clients are going, "Hey," either that or there's a central location for all the phone numbers, and then that is where it's kind of checking to see if I know this person or not. Or there's something like... That doesn't seem right. And Signal does, it does. Telegram, it is done like that because they're assholes. But Signal does it this really clever way. And they wrote a white paper about it, and it's mathematics beyond my ken. But it's done, basically, it sort of like spreads out your number, makes a hash of it, and distributes it to blocks of different people, and checks part of your number against each of the clients. And then when there's a match, you, as the client, find out that you know this person, but you don't. It's only because you know that number in the first place. And there's no, if you don't know the number in the first place, then you're never going to have this. It's all maths. I know, but it's super cool. And I'm like, when I heard about this, I was like, I'm not the only one who thought about this, and they thought about it too and fixed it. Nice.
You know what kills me? If I remember correctly, Signal only makes money through donations.
Yeah. But it's tricky. I mean, they got no ads. They can't. Yeah.
No, of course. But so I think definitely donate a few dollars, but also I'm pretty sure they accept like 50 different types of crypto.
They did want to add crypto into the messaging system, though. There was a big hoo-ha about that.
Well, they still should. Anyway.
Oh God! Do you know? There has not been a single technical problem in my life where I've thought, you know what would solve this? Blockchain. Yeah. Okay.
Let's not. Okay. Let's not go down. All right. Let's not go down. I say download Signal. Go tell all your friends about it. Okay. Go give them a couple of bucks. Signal, if you're listening, it's totally cool if you want to charge like $1 a month. I'll totally pay it.